Hi. How is everyone? Almost done here. Boop. Hello. Okay. If anyone just watched my stories, I am waving the white flag. Is that allowed? Is that allowed to do? Hi, Dorothy. Hello, friend. Hi, Kim. The first thing I want to do is share this picture that I have that I just hung. Isn't that cute? Can I share this with you? Let me share this with you. It says, home is on both sides of the river. Isn't that cute? Just wanted to share that. I love it. Hi, everyone. Oh, boy. It is Friday. So, yeah, I'm just going to share about my week. And, you know, I think for so long, I didn't share the hardest parts of life because I didn't want anyone to think that I was whining or being a baby or complaining but you know what? Sometimes in life, I think it is okay to whine and complain and just be super honest. So my week, I'm Katie Swenson. My week started out, I think at maybe 4:30 a.m. on Monday. I flew to Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, which is actually my favorite airport to fly into. FYI, fun fact, I love the Pittsburgh airport. Had a perfect flight and it went so well that on the way, every single time I fly, I always have this feeling of sadness because we don't fly with our kids. Coop's I just don't know if he could do it. Well, had such a phenomenal flight. It was just like, got to the airport, boarded, flew, landed. And I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I am going to say to my husband, I'm like, we're taking the kids. We're going somewhere. We're going to find some place to go. And there's a lot more to it than that. And then we landed in Pittsburgh and they kept us on the runway for 30 minutes. There was another plane at the gate, so we couldn't deplane. And I was sort of laughing to myself. I had someone waiting for me inside, my friend Mandy, and she's like, I can see you guys. You're just sitting there. And I was like, yes, we are. And that is let's just say that we could get Cooper through security and get him on the plane and get him boarded and get him there and all of it. I do not think that he could yet successfully sit on a plane for 30 minutes and not be able to move. So, hey, Emily. So I was like, well, that was short-lived. That is short-lived. I'm gonna put this down. So then immediately hopped in a rental car and, I've been sharing quite a bit about my friend whose daughter is courageously battling cancer. And I was able to spend the day with her and her family. And, hi, Shirley, is that going to change my face? Wait, did it do it? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Shirley. I definitely needed that. And, I think I've never known a child who is sick before. I'll say that first. I've never had a friend go through something quite so awful. And I would say my other friend Chris went through quite a bit with her friend Dexter, with her son Dexter, which I've shared with you. You know, you were with me for a lot of that. This is like the next level. And I think being able to sit with her for the day and make her, you know, we had her laughing and, you know, took her, I hopefully alleviated some of what she was feeling for one day. And, it was hard and it has nothing to do with me. So just please know that. But, watching someone you love so dearly go through something so awful, I feel like it just incrementally like breaks you. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know what else to say. And it's not my fight. It has nothing to do with me. But they don't tell you that you are going to love your friend's kids so much, right? Like no one tells you that, you know, all your friends, they're having babies and then they become like your babies. Like, oh, you know, it's something that you don't plan for. And, you know, when I think of the best people in the world, like I want to be clear, the best people in the world, it's this family. So I just love them. And so that was wonderful to spend the day with them, but hard. And then I had the honor, and I always use the word honor, of speaking to a school district in Winburn, Pennsylvania. Have any of you raised your hand if you've heard of Winburn, Pennsylvania? It's by Johnstown. And I had the honor of speaking to their district, and I just want to, hey guys, can you just be quiet for a sec?
I'm not watching that show.
One thing I want to share is from where I sit, so I do speaking about inclusion and autism and the challenges that parents face when you have a child with a disability. I get to tell the districts and see which ones are amazing. It's like this like secret that I've like been given, because when they invite me to speak and I get to speak to all staff, bus drivers, paras, teachers, not just special educators, all teachers, I know that they value.
There's no water in this park. What did you do?
Okay, hey guys, just let's take a breather up there. We have a broken toilet. I think something bad just happened. Oh my God. We have a broken toilet. Hello. Hi. Welcome to my world. And so it was great. I had like the best day ever speaking, like best staff, like shout out to Winburn, Pennsylvania. So honored. And then I flew home on Tuesday, and when I landed, I had like, so, you know, like from the second you land to like through the airport to driving home, hey James. Okay. There's a lot going on here. A lot going on with the toilet situation upstairs. It seems that there was a number 2 with no water in the toilet. I'm just replaying it. I don't know. It's upstairs. Real bad. Okay. Send your thoughts and prayers for Jeannie. Oh my God. Is someone really gonna, I just can't. I just can't sometimes. Okay. Parenting is the best thing. Oh my God. There's something happening over here, like something loud, and I feel like it's like blocking out like just what's happening upstairs. Like we have a situation. Yeah, I didn't say situation. I said situation. I think it's happening. So as I was landing, I called Jamie, and we're just chatting, and he's like, because I landed in the afternoon, and he's like, Cooper had a fall. And like, he just like sort of like said it like kind of casual. And I was like, this was Tuesday. And I was like, well, what do you mean Cooper had a fall? And he's like, well, he like fell off the stairs. So our house is very strange. And so this is my supporter. Sorry for repeating it. but we have this like house where like everywhere you go, you either like step down a stair or up a stair. It's very strange. I think it's like a older style home thing. Not efficient, not cool. And essentially it means that you have to like always like lift your vacuum everywhere you go. And so we've never had a problem before, but Jamie was like, I was sitting down and I heard a tumble, and he's like, I looked and Cooper had fallen backwards. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, we have 4 kids. I mean, trust me, like they're always falling. And I didn't even ask any more questions. So when I got home at maybe like 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Hey, Annie. Cooper was like already limping. And I think it happened at like 3. And so I'll tell you 2 things. 2 things can be true. Let me just say first, we are self-insured. We're both self-employed. Whatever that word is. And so we have just garbage insurance. I know that doesn't matter to anyone, but I'm just sharing that. So like, and the reason I'm sharing that is because every time we walk in the pediatrician's door, it costs $125. And so we just sort of be like, let's not just run there for a cold. We just like have like one extra thought process. But 2 things can be true. Cooper is non-speaking. He doesn't communicate pain, and he has a high pain tolerance. So he goes to the doctor a lot. Okay, so 2 things can be true, right? And so on Tuesday afternoon, I was like, he is like really limping. And Jamie's like, I don't know. He's like, it wasn't even a big deal. He was like, he didn't cry. He just like fell backwards. And I was like, well, was he pushed? And he's like, I don't think so. And humorously, every time we ask Cooper what happened, he blames Harbor, our 6-year-old. Harbor could not even be home. And we'd be like, what happened? And he's like, Arbor. And I thought that was, very funny. And Harbor's like, I did not push him. I was like, you better not be lying. And so Tuesday night happens, and I noticed that he wasn't sleeping well. And so that's a big sign, right? When you have a child that doesn't communicate pain and has high pain tolerance, you watch other things, like not sleeping well is a big one. And so we woke up Wednesday morning, and I immediately called the pediatrician, and I love the nurse on call. I don't know if you guys have that, but I use the nurse on call for a lot of things with Cooper. And I was like, hey, it's Kate. And Cooper had a tumble, and I was like, it's swollen. It's his left foot. It's swollen. There's some bruising showing, and he's really limping. And she's like, any kid, if they're limping, we want them to come in. And she's like, I can get you in this afternoon. And so by 2 p.m., he was like hobbling along. And so I think I've shared this with a lot of you. Cooper has incredibly high anxiety and OCD, which are a big part of his autism. And it's parts that aren't really talked about. It's probably the hardest part of his disability. And for him, his anxiety, when it's really manifesting in him, he picks at his skin or his toes, parts of his body. So like Cooper, if he gets a bug bite, a simple mosquito bite, it's like 6 months. And it ends up being like, oh, thank you, Jennifer. Oh, these are all so sweet. So sweet, thank you. It's really sweet, actually. It ends up being like, it's a whole thing. So like, there's a mama out there or a dad that right now or a grandma that knows what I'm saying. So if he gets a bug bite, you have to be so careful because it could very easily turn into staph or a different infection. Like, it's just ridiculous. And so his anxiety right now is skin picking and toenail picking. So we very much, this is the really like awesome thing about Cooper's progress. He knows that he picks his toes. So he keeps socks on 24 hours a day. He takes them off for a bath, obviously, or a shower. But I am telling you, you will never see Cooper without socks on. And he knows. And so it was interesting because, we got the left sock off. We're like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is kind of bad. We bring him in at 2 p.m. We do the x-ray. The x-ray, he was like, and Cooper's nonverbal, but he can yell at you and give you, he serves up the business quite well. And he was like yelling at me. He wanted his sock on. He was so mad. And we kept it off while we did the x-ray. And it was 3 pictures at just our pediatrician's office. Those are 3 x-rays. And I shared this in my post. I remember, lovingly holding Cooper for x-rays the best we could and taking the back of a head to the nose. Raise your hand if you've been hit in the nose. It is like your eyes water. It's terrible. And he took all 3 photos, x-rays, independently. And I was so proud of him. He had to sit there and hold his foot a certain way. We counted. So we're a big counting family. So when he has to do something, we'll count to 5, 10, 15, 20. A big problem is picking a number too low. Because if you get to 20 and it ain't done, you're done. He took all 3 pictures. I was so proud of him. And so then the pediatrician comes back in and, so she comes back in and she's like, yeah, I see a fracture in the 3rd, is it metatarsal? And then she's like, a suspected fracture in the 4th. And I just remember this is the left foot. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I just, I actually said to him, I'm like, Cooper, I can't handle this, so this kind of confused people. And I don't know if it confused me as well, but she was like, I'm immediately putting in a referral to Gillette Children's Orthopedics. And she's like, this x-ray will be sent to a radiologist to read it. She's like, beyond me. And she's like, I'm not a radiologist. And she's like, I want you to go in tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And so, Cooper's pain tolerance is so high. It is so high. And my fear has always been, and if you know me in real life, this is my fear because I've shared it with you, is that, and it may sound random or ridiculous, but I've always been so afraid of his appendix bursting. I've just always been so afraid of that. What if I don't know? What if he has cancer and I don't know? What if he has something and I don't know? He never complains. And I know if you don't live it, you can't believe it. I am telling you, this kid will not tell you if his foot has a fracture. He never complained. He never said, ow. He never pointed and said, ow. Nothing. And so, this is the other really interesting thing. The way I got him to the doctor was promising that he could go to Target after. We love Target. Please do not bash me for loving Target. Oh my gosh. And Target's right next to Central Pediatrics, our clinic. And so she was like, he shouldn't be walking, bring him home. Now, if you know autism and you promise something, you have to do it. Just trust me. So I get him over there and they thankfully had a Caroline's cart. If you don't know what Caroline's cart is and you are a disability parent or just someone who cares about our community, they are these carts where the person with a disability sits facing you. So you're pushing and they're facing you, and they fit kids, teens, and adults. So it's amazing. And Cooper's never sat in a Caroline cart before. That's how I knew he was hurt, because he willingly sat in it. He would never in a million years. And so he sat in that. He still managed to get all of his treats in the cart, all of his things. And so for any of you that need this, talk to your Target, walk in your Walmart, walk in your whatever, and ask for the manager and ask for them to get a Caroline's cart. Just, that's my one like takeaway. It is life-changing. And so we did his school shopping. He had his back to school night. That night, he needed 3 things. That's it. School shopping is different for our kids. And so he wanted to get his 3 things and all of his treats. So we did that. Got him home. I also want to address that and I'm just going to say it, that there was a horrific school shooting in Minnesota on Wednesday. It was on Wednesday. And while I was doing all of this with Cooper, someone put in one of my message threads, "Are your kids okay?" And I oddly was like, of course they're okay. They're at school. And then I was like, why would someone ask me that? That's so weird. And I went to Facebook and I saw the headlines, school shooter, Minnesota, K-8, Catholic school. And I will tell you, true story, the first thing that I saw, my kids, so Harbor and Sawyer, attend a Catholic school in the city we live in, K-8. Their shirts are blue. And before I even saw the name of the school, I saw that the shirts of where the kids were at were green. I'll never forget that. I don't know why. Their shirts were green. I am telling you, and again, just like with my friend Amanda, this has nothing to do with me. So I'm not looking for anything but that I've never had this happen ever to me. I was sitting in a parking lot with Cooper and I had a panic attack. And I called my husband and I said, "You have to come home. You have to come home. I cannot. Something's wrong." I don't know. My kids were in mass at the same time. And so I'm not, I don't need to go into it any more than that, but it was so bad. It's so bad. And I think so many of us feel helpless because we don't know what to say or what to do. We don't know what, so I'm just going to say that. I cried all day. And that's not like me. That's not like me. I just feel like, as an autism mom, and I'm saying that, we just put our head down and we just do the things, right? And I don't know why that one just broke me. And, brought Cooper to the doctor, found out about the fracture. And then we did bring him back to school night and he hobbled in. And, it's interesting. He's going to be a freshman this year. He's starting a new school, 2,400 kids at his new school, 9 through 12. And can I just say that 11th and 12th grade boys are really big. So I walked in, you guys, with my little sweetheart, watching Barney on his iPad. And, we're elbow to elbow with all these neurotypical kids that are just wonderful. And there was this school shooting and my friend's daughter. And I just was like, I am a wreck. I'm a wreck. Hello, cry for help. And, kind of navigated through the school and got into his pod. So his school has pods. And so it's 4 classrooms, 3 classrooms, a kitchen, a sensory room, a locker area, and got in there. And the second that the door shut, it was quiet. And his teacher is really lovely. It's a young man. And so Sawyer, our 12-year-old, came with, and Sawyer was like, Sawyer's so funny. He's like, I thought Cooper's teacher was gonna be like this like old guy, and he's super cool. And I'm like, I know. And then Sawyer's like, I think I'll be a special ed teacher like you said, Mom. I think he would be the best teacher. And so after he saw Cooper's teacher, he's like, I'll do that. I mean, Sawyer can do whatever he wants, but he would be the best teacher. He's like the nicest person. And so I also really adore the psychologist at Cooper School. She's like so level-headed, and she's so is his teacher. Like, they're just awesome. And I'll tell you something that his teacher said, and I want to say this because it can give hope to somebody. I just said to him, I'm like, I'm scared. Middle school was awful. Middle school was awful. And I'm like, things happened that should never happen. And it was terrible. And he was so nice. He was like, you know what? I hear that from every mom and every dad, that when their kids get to me as freshmen. And he's like, I have a kid who was considered violent when he got here, and now he's going to college, a different college program, definitely adaptive. But he's like, this is going to be great. And I was like, here's my cell phone number. Call me anytime. I'm like, it is so hard. Cooper is not easy, but he's so wonderful. Two things can be true. Cooper is tough. And I know I don't share that a lot, but he is a tough nut. But here's the other thing. He is the best kid. To know Cooper is to love him. He's like just a squishmallow and just cute and wonderful. And yeah, so he had me, I was just, a wreck from the school shooting, and he was just so great. So Cooper has two best friends. I've shared that with you. Wonderful best friends. I thought that they were going to be in his pod with him. They're not. They're in a different pod. And so that was sort of a tough pill because, I don't know, can I say something? Like, Cooper has severe needs, whether you want to believe it or not. And I say that because there's people that don't believe it. He has really significant needs. And so as you move along the autism spectrum, the pool of kids gets smaller. It just does. And so Cooper is in a very small group of four. 4 boys with significant needs. He doesn't get to be in the DD area. He doesn't get to go into, and he shouldn't, so I'm not saying like that, but like, I put this in both of my books that I think one of the hardest parts for me was not necessarily the autism diagnosis, it was his severity. And so I wish that he could be with his friends. Can't. But they do know how much he loves Peyton and Dexter. And they're like, if we need a reward or a distraction, we'll go see Peyton and Dexter. So like, it's great. It's going to be great. So then, okay, so here's the funny part. And I'm going to like share this with you because I just have to. So last night, so that was Wednesday, so now we're on Thursday. So last night, I was swimming with Harbor and Whitney. And so I'm standing like in the pool. So like my eye is like, like eye level with like the ground, because I'm in the pool. And Cooper comes walking out and he has his socks off. And I was like, Cooper, your foot is so bad. It's getting so much worse. I was like, oh my goodness, dude. It was like this thick, black and blue, swollen. I like reach out and touch it. It's hot. It's not cellulitis. It was like swollen and hot. And so my husband is like, oh my gosh, Kate, it's like so much worse. And we're like looking at the foot, and it was like a light bulb went on, like dink, you know, pulling the string, dink. And I was like, wait. I was like, that's your right foot. And my husband is standing there, Cooper's dad, and he was like looking, and he's like, Kate, that's the wrong foot. He bursts out laughing. And he's like, you x-rayed the wrong foot. And I was like, no, I didn't x-ray the wrong foot. His left foot has a fracture. The right foot is worse. I am telling you, I experienced like every emotion in a 15-second window. I was like, what in the Halifax? Cooper, your other foot is worse. How did I miss this? Oh my gosh, I'm the worst mom. What is happening? And so I look at him and I was like, Cooper, which foot hurts worse? He points to the right foot. You guys, he hurt his right foot. He hurt both feet on this mysterious fall that no one has seen. We were at a doctor getting x-rays, and he didn't think to tell us that he hurt his right foot also. This is autism. So you want to wonder why I think his appendix are going to burst? I'm going to have no idea. He didn't think. Can you imagine? Imagine I have a broken arm and a broken leg, and I'm at the doctor, and I'm like, my leg is really bothering me. Anything else wrong? No, just the leg. They didn't x-ray both, Tiffany, because he was being so challenging. Cooper is really challenging. We couldn't get the sock off. We had to keep the sock off. He was so mad. I mean, he's not an easy patient. So I mean, maybe the doctor should have done something differently, but I only expressed concern about the left, you know. So we sit him down. You guys, that foot was this thick. Black. The whole thing looked a dozen times worse. So we had an appointment for 8:30 this morning. And we go to Gillette Children's, which is like this great, phenomenal hospital. I got Snoopy in a wheelchair. He thought that was pretty cool. He was pretty tickled by that. But he had to walk in the parking ramp, and that was pretty hard for him. I could have done ballet, but I didn't think he'd get out, and all the things of autism. So got him in a wheelchair, got him in, and I was sort of like anxious about telling this doctor, like, hey, we're here for the left, but also there's a right. So the great thing about this like wonderful doctor is that we were like, great doctor, got him right into x-ray, did the x-ray standing this time of the right foot. I'll also say, if you've never been to a doctor with someone like Cooper, and without Cooper, I wouldn't, because my other kids are very neurotypical. They are neurotypical in the sense that they do everything the doctor asks. When you have a child like Cooper, you essentially do everything the doctor asks. So the doctor's like, let me see your foot. You're doing it. You're bribing. You're encouraging. You're motivating. You're moving. And this is, it's hard to understand, but like, you know, you're the one working with the doctor. It's, you know, so, I had to promise Starbucks a trip to Grandma's and the Great Smoky Mountains to do all the things. You know, I think the doctors probably think that I'm crazy. I'm like, you know, bouncing around like a monkey, like Cooper, stay calm, show the foot. Yes, Amtrak train. Yes, 20 presents. Yes, Grandma's, like sweating. I'm sweating. Got the x-ray. The x-ray tech was a tall man with a bald head. Cooper loves tall men with bald heads. I don't know why. When the X-ray tech came out, Cooper started clapping and high-fived him, and I was like, he's got a thing for bald heads. Like, you just have to just share. Like, our lives are weird. And so then the doctor comes back, and he was like, I see a stable fracture in the left. And he's like, I actually don't see any fractures right now in the right. And he's like, but that is a nasty sprain, and I cannot believe he's walking. He's like, I cannot believe it. He's like, that is a bad sprain. And so he's like, I want you to come back in 10 days. He's like, and here's how he worded it. I'm not a doctor, I know nothing, but he said, often with this level of sprain, a fracture can show up within the healing process. And since it just happened on Tuesday, it hasn't started to heal yet. So he's like, I want you back in 10 days and we'll repeat x-rays. And he's like, do you want a boot for the left? And I was like, do you want a boot for the left? And he laughed. And he's like, do you think he'll wear it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Boot him, don't boot him. And he's like, I think we're gonna not do a boot. He's like, I just think it's gonna cause more problems. He's like, the fracture's small and stable. So he's like, keep him off his feet, keep it elevated, try to ice it. And so I wheeled him back out. We went to Starbucks. He was tickled pink about Starbucks, planning, he put the Great Smoky Mountains into the GPS. And I was like, not right now, sweetheart. Not right now. I'm so thankful for good people. Like, I just love, we've had, I'm not gonna say bad, that's not the right word. We've had very unkind medical staff in the past. And just kindness. Just kindness. It was wonderful. And as we were sitting this afternoon, and I'm just going to share this with you. Again, I share things because it's hard. We kept Cooper's socks off for the day, and he removed another toenail. And we were all in the living room when he did it, and we watched it happen, and it was just really hard to see, and for us and the kids, and it was pretty gruesome, gory. And I just to be totally honest, I had a moment today where I was like, I can't do this forever. I can't. I just need to tap out for a little bit. I need a break. I'm going to say the sentence, nothing with autism is easy. Nothing with autism is easy. And if that, offends you, I don't know how it could. And I just long for ease just once. I just need a day without OCD and anxiety and toenails and skin picking and screaming. And I just need a day. I just need 24 hours. I don't know how to get it. And I want to be honest. I truly believe that we are made to do hard things. I believe that I am meant to be Cooper's mom. I will love him forever. I will give him his best life. But at some point, I don't know how I can do this forever. So I'm feeling that right now. I think it'll get better once we get him back in school. And I think if it goes well. But this stuff is not for the faint of heart. And just check on your special needs parent friends. Just check on them. Just check in. Go sit with them for a bit. Just be with them. The weight of this is it's just so heavy. And again, I think we're made to do hard things. I think I can carry it. I'll carry it forever. I will carry the weight of this until I die. And I will do it with love and respect. But I am tired. So I am just saying that to you in case you need to hear it. Because a lot of times I just want to know that I'm not alone. I just want to know that I'm not alone. I feel so alone sometimes. Like, why is my life so hard? Am I just terrible? Do I suck? Like, why is this so hard? But I'm also, cleaning up a toenail mess, I don't know. It just is hard. So sending you so much love. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate this ability to share. I try to do it with respect and dignity for my son, but I also really want to support caregivers. And I felt so alone for 8 years. So alone. And you're not alone. You're not alone. I will also say I have a link here. I do have a supporter group. I don't push it all that often, but I have a supporter group or share it all that often. Come join it. I share everything over there more than this. So come try it for a month. So thank you all for being here. Cooper is happy as a clam. He is wonderful and joyful, and yeah, just check on the parents. We could use some checking in on once in a while. Okay. Bye guys.